picture. I hope that his flame doesn't go out, because that's always one of the things that happens when Donald is on the boat. If water should get in, it will slow down the jet-propelled motor. But as you see, he's coming along very slowly and waiting to get into action. Most everybody has an eye on him, either by camera or, if the case may be, by binoculars. Here you have a decent picture of the lake, but nothing is occurring at this moment because we have the fire, and that's it. Now then, we'll be back for the rest of the Sunday from Lake Mead on this Sunday in autumn.
Well, it's kind of sad. Apparently, he took a couple of bucks there and decided to cut off his power. But we're going back for another try a little later on. Here's a man now that you all know. You've seen him in the movies and on television in Big Town, Mark Stevens.
Good afternoon, everyone. While we're skipping around this wide, wide world, let's have a look at the famous Henry Hudson Parkway right here in New York. That's the Hudson River in the distance. As you've heard, it's pretty wet here around New York today, but people are still getting out anyway. And that's just a small part of the millions of Americans on the move this Sunday in autumn. They're going places and doing things in their cars. And since I'm associated with AC Sparkplug, I get a special kick out of knowing that if you could make a check of all the new cars down there, the chances are that you'd find that more than half of them are equipped with AC spark plugs. Actually, it's a fact that over 50% of all the cars produced in America last year had ACs as original equipment. Why were ACs selected over all other spark plugs? Because ACs perform better. And here's the reason for that better performance. Right here in AC's exclusive hot tip. See how the tip of the AC spark plug is tapered on the outside and recessed on the inside. Now that design makes it heat up faster, and it burns away carbon and oil deposits as soon as they form. Now to you, this means better mileage, more horsepower, and smoother engine performance. So if your plugs have gone 10,000 miles, take a tip from the automotive engineer who always specifies AC, and have your AC dealer install a new set of AC hot tip spark plugs. Oh, by the way, I know you're waiting anxiously for the new 1956 General Motors cars. And General Motors cars will be coming soon, and they're all equipped with quality products made by AC. AC, the electronics division of General Motors.
Well, you've met some mighty active people so far, doing some pretty exciting things, working on the world speedboat record, working on it at least, swimming underwater. Kind of a pleasant Sunday afternoon, I hope, for you. Kind of a harvest time holiday, because the pleasures of a Sunday afternoon like this are really a harvest in a way, one that's been a long, long time in the making. About 3 billion years, actually. This is the Grand Canyon you're looking at now, as it is at this moment. This place has all the time in the world, all 3 billion years of it. The history of the Earth is locked away in those rocks, as in a filing cabinet. People come here, take a look, and then spend a good part of their lives trying to describe it to others. I remember a cowboy who stumbled onto his first view of the canyon. He looked at it and said, "Wow, something must have really happened here." And something really did. If you were to come to Grand Canyon, you might meet Dr. Louis Shellbach, its chief naturalist. For 23 years, the Grand Canyon has been Dr. Shellbach's backyard.
The Hopi people are the descendants of the prehistoric people that once inhabited this great Southwest and whose ruins can be seen today. Now let us take a walk to the rim of the canyon and look out over it. This is the Grand Canyon. Well, now that the television people have brought their live television cameras into the canyon for the first time, it seems I'll be talking about the canyon to millions of people who are seeing it the same time as you are. Makes me think I ought to say something special, but no matter how I try, I keep failing short of the immensity of it. The magnitude of the canyon is difficult to make clear. This is one canyon, that is, one gorge in the rock, a gorge 217 miles long and over a mile deep. Inside are mountains higher than the White and Green Mountains of New Hampshire and Vermont, higher than the Adirondacks. Standing here at the rim, a man by the name of Hendrik Van Loon put it this way: suppose all the people on Earth could be brought at the same time to the canyon, and suppose you could place them all in one box. That box would measure about 1 mile on each side. Suppose someone came along and tipped that box into the canyon. It would take about a week to find the human race again. Always there's a question. What made this titanic spectacle? The Indian legend says the canyon was built first and the river placed in it afterwards. Today, we know it was the other way around. The river was first, and that cut the canyon. This is the first time the Colorado River has been seen live on television. At the present time, the river is cutting its way through the oldest rock on Earth, the hardest the river has ever encountered. This accounts for the narrowness of the inner gorge, and it's practically sheer walls. The action of the river here is like that of a saw. Looking across, you are seeing the first era of this Earth covering about 2 billion years. Above it, you have the formations of the Tonto Platform, the third era, measuring 300 million years. The second rock layer ought to be in between, but it's been worn away, meaning there's about 500 million years missing from the record. Looks like somebody took that time out of the files. You can place a finger at the point where the first and third eras meet, and your finger will be spanning 500 million years. That's enough to make anyone put on the brakes. If you plan to go down into the canyon, you can start at the top of Bright Angel Trail. The car is what gets you to the canyon. At that point, you transfer to a mule. That mule knows how to go down through the rocks of the ages. He's sure-footed. Don't worry about him. And you'll have about 4 hours to look and think your own thoughts about this place before you reach Plateau Point.
1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion, and that's where you come in. After 3 billion years, people come here. They look around and then try to describe it. Cathedrals, one man called its peaks, palaces, thrones, temples, islands in the sky. That's what they said. You're looking at it right now. What do you say? Kind of hard to find the words, is it not? A news story broke across the country a few days ago about a dramatic development that'll make night driving safer and easier for all of us. The Wall Street Journal reported GM to offer a new type headlamp. And automotive writer Lee Donovan of the Detroit Free Press headlines his column, Better Light Made Better. By this time, I think most papers have carried the story. And now here's the complete television report on this by Bob Bright.
You're right, Dave. And this is big news for every automobile driver. It's the introduction of the brand new T3 safety aim headlamp, developed by the Guide Lamp Division of General Motors. This is the first seal beam headlamp ever produced which can be correctly aimed, quickly, easily, and inexpensively. And as you know, it's absolutely essential that your headlights be aimed correctly if you're to get maximum safety and visibility in night driving. Of course, the T3 has all the features and advantages of the most advanced seal beam headlamps, but here is the big difference. Here is the feature you'll find only in the new Guide T3. The secret is in these glass